Uh, Hi, I'm here to discuss the political crisis going on within the infrastructure of our so-called government. Now, what we're looking at here in 2009 is a complete manifesting doctrine which oversees and proceeds many of the controversial issues going on today in the Middle and Southern East. Uh, Me and my staff have been very much so working on contemplating a new infrastructure to parlay what we call a very rare governmental issued state law, mostly for citizens and propaganda. But what you're looking at, like I said before, is a very rare situation of controversial overthrow. Now, what's going on in certain parts of Europe, Malaysia, the Inner East, and Tribeca, which is a part of China, we have rebel Mormons, which seem to deteriorate more towards the philanthropist side of politics. But then what ends up happening is that you're looking at, once again, the fall of a very big empire, being it that of these major corporations, i.e. your Chryslers, your Fords, the big three. And unfortunately, due to our current situation here in the United States of America, we're going to have an overthrown political satire, which means in layman's terms, we are going to have a very big political scandal on our hands. And this comes not only from the Board of Health, not only from the committee of the government, not only from the jurisdiction and the jury. You have inner workings from huge corporations and governmental issued practices looking down from above saying, hey, wait a minute, these civilians, they have their rights, they have their privileges. What's the fourth thing in the Constitution say? That's right. Do not overthrow government without political manifestation. So once again, we're looking at something that can be torn down from the roots. This is something that is more political than religious, although religion falls in due to Darwinism. And we're going to have a very sticky situation on our hands. And CNN, all the major news companies are going to cover this. I feel as if this is a huge problem for the epidemic of the children of the Inner East. This is a huge problem for the elderly of China. And what you're looking at is a Vietnam situation where you have governmental political issues intertwined, cross-pollinating, if you will, with a much bigger picture, which is the jurisdiction of the fourth law of Madagascar, a very rare term indicted by Sir Charles Reilly. Now, a lot of you don't know who Sir Charles Reilly is. He was the governmental issue appointed senator in England. And what he did was decided, hey, wait a minute, look, we have Parliament, we have Big Ben, we have the bridge. What we're going to do is we're going to unite them, and we're going to be more Americanized, which could be a colonial problem for many of the local British people, such as your Southerners, your Northerners, East-Westerners. And a little tidbit for you, not a lot of you know this, that news, when you watch the news, is an acronym. It stands for North, East, West, South. It doesn't mean what's new. News, covering all gamuts. So, once again, the political situation we're finding ourselves in is going to decompose and combust into what we call a filibuster. And if you have any knowledge like I do about politics and religion, you'll realize that, hey, the two don't mix. We're going to have to start all over from scratch. We have a wonderful president, and the vice president we're a little worried about, but, after his stint with the Watergate scandal, you're going to be looking at, like I said, a downfold of political scandals. The fifth parliament, the sixth parliament, stating that man cannot marry another man. People seem to care about gay marriage. Personally, for me, hey, whatever you want to do it on your own. But when you're within such a major corporate infrastructure, you have to look deeper than that. It goes more into the political aspects of, okay, is the Jeremiah Act in? Is the Regalia Act of 72 in? Roe versus Wade. There's so many things that come into play in politics that I'm going to start updating you more frequently on the inner workings of our so-called government, if you will. This is Dirt Nasty checking out. I will have more political updates later as I'm informed.